When Alex was a young boy, his father shared with him a story about Albert Einstein. According to his father, Einstein once offered a piece of advice that had stayed with him throughout his life. Always maintain silence in 5 specific situations. The first situation is when you feel anger brewing within you. The second is when sadness overwhelms your heart. The third is when you find yourself consumed by worries. The fourth is when fatigue takes hold of your body and mind. And the fifth is even during moments of great happiness. Alex didn't fully grasp this advice until he grew up and started working in a bustling office environment. He often found himself getting angry and stressed, but then he began to take Einstein's counsel to heart. Whenever anger or upset feelings surged within him, he'd take a deep breath and maintain his silence. When worries or fatigue set in, he'd pause to rejuvenate. As the years passed, Alex's colleagues at the office came to recognize him for his composed demeanor. Even during the most trying situations, he never raised his voice or became flustered. Colleagues often sought his advice, and he was always willing to assist. One day, Alex was promoted to a higher position within the company. He was now responsible for a team of people and understood the importance of maintaining his composure. He knew that the power of silence was his greatest asset. Over the years, Alex continued to live by Einstein's counsel, remaining calm in all situations and achieving more than he ever thought possible. In the end, Alex realized that the power of silence was not just advice from Einstein. It was a way of life. He was grateful for the wisdom passed down to him from one of the greatest minds in history. Silence is the most potent weapon in the world, and anger is best left unsaid. Sometimes silence is the best companion when you're feeling sad. Worrying is like a rocking chair. It keeps you busy, but gets you nowhere. Rest is not idleness. Sometimes it's sitting quietly under trees on a summer's day, listening to the waters murmur or watching clouds float across the sky. Happiness is not something ready-made. It arises from your own actions. Maintaining calmness is a superpower. A peaceful smile is the mark of the greatest self, always reflecting the world's smiles back. The quieter you become, the more you can hear. Let your words be few and your thoughts deep. When words are scarce, they rarely go to waste. It's often better to remain silent and be thought a fool than to speak and remove all doubt. In silence, you can hear the whispers of your soul. Silence is a source of great strength. True conversation is not just about saying the right words at the right time. It's also about knowing when to leave the wrong words unsaid. Silence is where you can hear the footsteps of God when all is quiet. Wise individuals speak because they have something to say, while fools speak because they feel compelled to say something. The less you say, the more people will remember. Fewer words often carry greater meaning. The less you speak, the more weight your words hold. Quiet people often possess the loudest minds. Silence is a steadfast friend that never betrays. Sometimes silence is the loudest sound of all. It's not just the words that count, but the meaning they convey. Words, once spoken, cannot be taken back. Words can be both weapons and remedies. Silence is the language of the soul. Your words and how you express them have the power to change the world. Actions often reveal one's wisdom. Speech may be valuable, but silence is golden. The ultimate wisdom in life is not to speak too much. The less you talk, the more people will listen. Silence is truly golden, especially when you're unsure of what to say. Silence isn't empty. It's full of answers. True silence is a rest for the mind and nourishment for the spirit, akin to sleep for the body. Listening to silence can be immensely rewarding. When words fail, music can speak. Silence is the herald of joy. Sometimes silence is the most eloquent response. Maintaining composure is a display of ultimate strength. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of peace. There's an undeniable power in silence that should never be underestimated. Silence can bring tranquility even to the most restless minds. It holds the answer to life's profound questions. The power of words can move mountains, but the power of silence can calm the fiercest storms. Words have the ability to heal or harm, but silence can provide solace for even the deepest wounds. Silence is the space between musical notes, the pause between sentences. The most meaningful conversations often transpire without words. Silence is not a weakness. It's a virtue. A wise person speaks because they have something valuable to convey, while a fool speaks simply for the sake of speaking. Silence is a form of respect, a way to honor the moment and those in it. In silence, you discover yourself, and in yourself, you find the world. Silence is like a canvas on which you paint the colors of your life. Words are the music of your soul, but silence is the rhythm that gives them meaning. Silence reminds us that sometimes the most powerful way to be heard is through our silence. The sound of silence can be overwhelming, yet it can also be the sweetest sound you'll ever experience. Silence is not an absence of noise, but rather the presence of peace. The quieter you become, the more clearly you can hear the voice of your heart. Silence is the language of the wise, the voice of the thoughtful, and the melody of the soul. In the stillness of silence, you can hear the whispers of your ancestors guiding you on your journey. Silence is the canvas on which you paint the emotions of your life, giving them shape and meaning. Silence can be the greatest teacher, showing us how to live in harmony with ourselves and the world around us. The real art of conversation lies not only in the words we utter, but in the spaces we leave for silence to be heard. Silence is like a mirror reflecting the true essence of who we are. In silence, we uncover the answers we seek and summon the courage to face our fears. Silence is the ultimate act of self-care, allowing us to recharge and renew our spirits. The power of silence can create a bridge between two hearts when words fail to reach. Silence can be the most potent form of protest, often speaking louder than any words ever could. The sound of silence is the melody of the universe, reminding us of the beauty and mystery of life. Silence can be the ultimate act of love, offering a space of understanding without judgment or interruption. Within silence, we unearth the wisdom of ages past and the courage to confront the challenges of our time. Silence is the gateway to our deepest selves, where we find the strength to follow our dreams, no matter where they lead. The true beauty of silence is not in the absence of noise, but in the presence of peace. Silence is the language of the heart and the voice of the soul. In the stillness of silence, you can hear the voice of God guiding you on your path. Silence is a way to honor the sanctity of life and acknowledge the interconnectedness of all things. The power of silence isn't in what we say, but in the energy we bring to the moment and the intent behind our words. In the quietude of our hearts, we find the courage to live our lives authentically and to follow our own path, no matter where it leads. The true essence of silence lies in the space we create for it, in the intention behind our words, and in the depth of our understanding. In silence, we discover the beauty of the universe and the secrets of our own hearts. Silence is a gift, a moment of clarity and stillness in a world that constantly speaks. The art of conversation is not only in the words we utter, but also in the space we allow for silence to be heard. Silence is the canvas upon which we paint the emotions of our lives, giving them form and significance. Words may be the music of the soul, but silence is the rhythm that imbues them with meaning. Silence reminds us that sometimes the most potent way to make a statement is through our silence. The sound of silence can be both deafening and profoundly beautiful, reminding us of the wonder and mystery of life. Silence is the ultimate act of love, offering a space of understanding without judgment or interruption. In silence, we unearth the wisdom of ages past and the strength to confront the challenges of our time. Silence is the gateway to our true selves, where we find the courage to follow our dreams, no matter where they may lead. The true essence of silence lies in the intention behind our words and in the space we create for it. May the power of silence continue to guide your journey,